Hello everyone, welcome to Indie Island. This is Furi, a frustrating yet satisfying game from the Game Bakers. Now this is available on PC via Steam for £19, although if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber on the PS4, you can get this game for free right now with your subscription. Now this game is basically a boss crawler where you will fight a boss. You will have some narrative while you walk around the landscape, and then you will face another boss. There's no standard mobs in this game. It's simply you versus a boss every time, which is quite an interesting concept. I remember Shadow the Colossus was like this, where you would explore, you would go around the world, and then you would fight one of the Colossus. So with this, there's not really any exploration. It's all just walking about basically. Your guy, he doesn't run, he has no urgency to him. He just sort of walks to the next destination where you will fight the next boss. Now the storyline is you were locked up in a jail cell. This boss you're seeing now is the first jailer you fight. You've just escaped your cell. He's trying to put you back in that cell, so you decide to have a fight with him. And as you go on, you travel through the prison. Turns out there's a prison in a prison, so to speak. And you just face the multiple bosses during the game. So in this video, we're just going to be having a look at some little snips of the first two boss fights. Here you can see I'm about midway through the boss fight. If you look in the top left hand corner, that's my health bar, and the bits below it are similar to a fighting game style where you have a certain amount of lives where you can lose your health and get back up before it's game over. The same with the enemy on the right hand side. He has his health bar, which is currently going down as I hit him, but he also has the little squares, which how many more times you actually have to deplete his health before he is actually dead. So you see there, I depleted his health, so he's gone back to full health, but he's lost one little square, and now he will change things up a little bit. He'll do some different attacks, and we'll go from there. So this one is primarily the tutorial fight. It's not at all easy. For a tutorial mode, it's rather difficult, to be honest. But this is the guy, he's trying to stop you from escaping your cell. So here we are in a little combat arena. When they go down and they have a little orange circle around them, that's when this arena style fighting starts. You see I just knocked off another bar of his health, so he's got one more. So he's going to be doing something a bit different now. He has surrounded himself in protectiveness, which I stupidly went into a few times and got damaged quite severely. Now I can shoot these little orbs with my gun to try and clear them out of my path. You see here I've actually gone into the circle and it wasn't a very good idea, so I've been knocked down a bar, so I've now got 2 bars left, but I've gone back to full health. So very similar to like a Street Fighter or a Tekken, where you have different rounds and you go back to full health after them, and so on and so forth. So pressing X, this is the PS4 version of the game, so pressing X here will dodge the attacks. You actually do a sort of disappear teleport dodge, and what you need to do is you need to dodge the attacks. These blue orbs I can shoot to get through. The other coloured ones I cannot, I need to just dodge them. So he's doing some pretty serious attacks right now. What we need to do, we need to get through these and attack him, and now he's got his orange circle around him. We can then go and slash him and start this little arena fight, and he's going to kill me apparently. We hope not, because we want to progress through the game, but let's just have a look. So he's doing an area damage now where you have to dodge out of the red space or you will get injured, just like there. And while he's doing that, you can then proceed to attack him and cause him damage. So there's no leveling up in this game. There is no skills or upgrades or loot. As I can see, it's simply about you versus your opponent, your skill, reading their attack cycles, and essentially being able to better the AI, which is very difficult indeed. This is on Fury mode. Now there is a mode below that, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it basically makes the game a lot simpler for you and you can just enjoy the story, but you will get no trophies, no achievements or anything. So playing on that mode seems slightly pointless. Obviously there is going to be some people who like the game and want to enjoy it, but cannot proceed with this difficulty. So it is a hard game, but it's quite satisfying when you get things right. So here I've met a little companion and they're going to help us through to the next area. So we will see where that is going to take us.
Is so worth the trouble. You and me, we're in the same boat now. Now let's get the hell out of here. Now that's so.
Right, so we've walked a little bit. I just edited out the walking because no one wants to watch a guy walk for 5 minutes. There's some narrative as you walk around. One thing I will say when you're walking is the controls are a little bit strange because the camera keeps cutting to different angles, and when you're pushing obviously the directional stick, you have to sort of reset yourself, otherwise you start going in all sort of bonkers directions. So this segment of the game it's not exciting. Obviously you get a bit of a feel for the story and what's actually going on in the game, but other than that it's simply your character, he's walking and narrative is being spoken to you by the guy with the bunny hat, which is quite bonkers. I've never known someone to have a bunny hat with a staff, but here we go. So we've walked a little bit, we've come into this area now, and we're going to be approached by the second enemy in the game, or the second boss, who is this woman on a sort of wheelchair with a beam laser on her face, and she's going to have multiple different attacks as well, you know, so we'll just see how she fares. So after the cutscene we finished our walking and now we're back into the fight. Completely new enemy, different arena, and we do need to dodge her attacks and not fall down there, because that then hurts us and resets us. So the first thing you really want to do when you enter a boss fight is stay out of harm's way for a while. Telegraph the attacks. What is this boss actually going to do? Like here you can see that at the moment they're just firing that blue beam at me, so I can dodge that blue beam and then dodge out the way of that area attack there. So there seems to be 2 attacks in this first little section. If you try to attack her before she starts firing the beam, she will dodge. So you really need to dodge the laser first and then go in for the attack, like there. And we slowly plug away at her health. When they get to a certain health point, then you will get the little arena type game where you can actually knock off a bar of their lives, so to speak. Like here, now we're into the little arena. She's going to be doing the same attacks as she was in the bigger arena, and it goes on like this. So it can be very frustrating because obviously you've got no upgrades, it's just you. It's you versus a boss. You've got no way of improving your character. The only way to improve in this game is to improve your player skill, and that's something the developers have said. They said that this is a skill based game. It's not about upgrading, it's about feeling yourself improve as you play it and as you attempt these bosses, which I think is something we don't really get a lot in games nowadays. We can, if we can't defeat a boss, we can farm the grunts for hours if we want, level up to a ridiculous strength, and then the boss is easy. You know, you can do that in RPG games like The Witcher and Fallout, games like that. You know, you can level up, you can increase your strength, your stamina, whatever you want to, whatever your play style is, and then you can sort of defeat a boss fairly easily. A boss that was supposed to be hard is no longer hard because you're actually so strong at that point in the game. Whereas this, you have no options whatsoever to do that. There is nothing, no increased weapons, it doesn't seem at this moment. I haven't finished this game, but I've got quite a way through it, I think, and there is nothing in terms of upgrades, in terms of leveling up, etc. So it's all about the player skill. It's all about telegraphing the enemies, and it's all about learning the attack patterns. Now, even if you do learn the attack patterns, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to then be able to defeat this enemy. Obviously you can make mistakes, you are a human being at the end of the day, you're playing a game, you're going to make a mistake or two, and if you get defeated, you know why. It's sort of similar to Dark Souls in that sense. Dark Souls is a ridiculously hard game. You know, it's frustrating to the T, but when you die, 9 times out of 10 you know what you did wrong, and the main thing is trying to get yourself to the point where you can not make that mistake again. It's very hard to do, but if you are able to do that, then obviously you will prevail in the end. So here we are, she is just beaten me up, so she is gonna go back to full health, and we're gonna have to start that little cycle again. So now we know what she's gonna do in that cycle, so this time around it should be more straightforward, so to speak, but like you can see, I've already taken a hit because them little purple orbs actually chase you, and you need to try and hit them onto walls, etc., to try and avoid them. You can also dodge through them, but they're just going to come at you, and then they're quite relentless as well. They do have a cooldown time, which is alright, and that one is a spray attack. You know, you need to position yourself behind cover. Obviously they have different animations for their different attacks, so you should sort of know what's coming. Obviously it's hard to read their animations all the time because you're focused on dodging the previous attack. Like them purple ones, they linger about for about 2 more attacks if you haven't cleared them off by making them hit walls or whatever. So we're back into our little arena fight now. This is where the real skill comes into it, because in the first phase obviously you've got the whole arena to play with, whereas in this one you're confined to this blue circle. So you've got to be a lot more precise with your dodging, a lot more precise with when you choose to attack. So we have knocked another bar off her, so she is going to transform, and now she's got a scythe. So we're getting attacked by a scythe now. She's added melee to her arsenal, which is now pretty bad, because when we approach her she can mix things up a little bit. She can attack us with a scythe as well, whereas before when we approached her she was tied up, so there was no way she could attack us from close range. So obviously as you progress through the boss it's getting a bit more difficult, it's getting a bit more tricky and you need to put more thought into what you're actually doing. So she's doing the similar sort of attacks. Obviously we've now telegraphed what most of the things she does is, but like I say, she's added a powerful purple shot now instead of all the little ones. That's a bit more quick than the previous one. And I just fell off the edge there. You know, that's luckily that doesn't actually kill you, lose you a life, but it does do you a little bit of damage. So now we've got back into the small combat arena. So we're just gonna, she's now got a scythe obviously, so she's gonna do some melee attacks as well as her ranged attacks and her area damage. And we've knocked her down once more, so this time she hasn't transitioned, but she's gonna be a bit more aggressive here, a bit better at dodging as well. As you progress through the boss fight, they get better at telegraphing what you're going to do, which is rather frustrating because obviously you can parry, but timing that parry is very, very difficult. I find it a lot easier just to dodge, whereas trying to parry a melee attack is, you've got to time it to a T. If you do, you do gain a little bit of health back, and you do stun the opponent in order to get a good few swings at them. But overall, I find dodging to be a lot more effective for this game, as again, similar to Dark Souls, I've always dodged in Dark Souls. You know, it's the parrying in that game is extremely difficult, and this one's no different. There I tried to do a parry and I just completely failed. So we're gonna give her a little bit more of a beating, hopefully. Here she is, she's swiping now. And obviously as you progress through the game, the bosses get more difficult. They have more varied attacks, more devastating attacks as well, so you really need to start timing your dodges a lot better. Obviously as well as the hack and slash, there is the shooting, which I've just remembered in this boss fight. You get so caught up in hacking away at your opponent that you actually forget you can shoot them, which is quite absurd. But yeah, so we knocked her down now, and we are going to try and get back into the arena match. Here she goes with that big blue one again, and she's knocked us down again. So we've got 1 bar of health or lives left compared to her 3, so we are actually struggling in this one. This is only the second boss fight in the game as well, so as you can see it can be quite frustrating. But you know, I wouldn't say you'd be able to do the boss fight first time. I think the only one you should be able to do first time is the opening one, and even that is a bit of a struggle. But apart from that, you just got to keep plugging away. I think this game is pretty cool. The design, the graphics are excellent, and overall it's a very good hack and slash, and obviously swap in a bit of twin stick shooting there. I would recommend this game, especially if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber. You can get this for free right now in the month of July, so make sure to check that out. For more videos on games and other stuff, please subscribe to my channel. It'd be great to get some new subscribers. Please share if you have the time to do so. Share it to your friends, family, whatever. Anyone interested in games, send them my way. I will try and entertain you as much as possible. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't be a bit freaked out by this. She is freeing herself from her trolley now. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, and see you again next time.